Let us discuss the lesson Electoral Politics today. One of the important chapter which give more details about our democratic elections and its procedures. From the previous lessons, we have discussed about the importance of a government, constitution, etc. for a nation. Here we are going to discuss about how a government is forming in a democratic nation. What are the basic qualities needed for a democratic government, etc. We know that a democratic nation must conduct elections after every 5 years. That is, a regular interval will be there. Why do we need election? What are the important procedures on election, etc. need to discuss in this lesson. Why a democratic nation need to conduct election? It's a good question. And its answer can be discussed as democracy mainly functioning on the base of elected representatives, and that elected representatives are coming into power through elections. Representatives are chosen by the voters of a country, and each representative will be having a constituency. So what is a constituency? Constituency, formation of constituency is considering as the first step of conducting an election. At the time of election, the country will be divided into number of areas, and these areas known as constituencies. The voters who live in an area elected one representative each. For Lok Sabha election, our country is divided into 543 constituencies. Each representative electing from these constitute our parliament, and the elected representatives from each constituency to parliament is called member of parliament or MP. As we know, one of the most important feature of our constitution or democratic election is that every vote should have equal value. That's why our constitution requires that each constituency should have an equal population living within it in order to assure equal opportunity for all candidates. In order to conduct assembly elections to each states, the whole state also will be divided into areas mainly on the base of population. So for assembly election also constituencies will be formed. The same will be practiced for local self-government elections also. That means for panchayat, lots of wards will be formed, and also for municipalities, lots of councils also will be formed. So the whole area will be divided into number of small areas mainly on the base of population. Such areas created at the time of election for its citizens is called constituencies. In order to organize and also to control the whole election procedures in a democratic nation like India, we have appointed an officer called Election Commissioner, Chief Election Commissioner. The most important function of this Chief Election Commissioner is to ensure free and fair election in our country, and also to assure equal opportunity for all voters to vote according to their choice without any external influence. Chief Election Commissioner is appointed by the President of our country. But once appointed, the Chief Election Commissioner is not answerable to the President or the government. His power is beyond all these governmental officials, and even though his decisions or demands are not at all acceptable to the government, there is no choice for them to raise their voice or to question the Election Commissioner. In India, elections are mainly based on political parties. So there is a chance for the people or the voters either to elect or to change their representatives through these 5 years regular elections. So whenever constituencies are formed for the purpose of election, the next important procedure to conduct our election is the preparation or the formation of voters list. Voters list decide who can and who cannot vote. So this decision cannot be left to anyone till the last day. In a democratic election, the list of those who are eligible to vote is prepared much before the election and given to everyone to check whether their name is enlisted. This list is officially called electoral roll. and commonly known as voters list. As our democratic election is mainly based on equal chance for all voters, we know that adult franchise is practically practicing in India. That means adult franchise means it is the writing vote of all above 18 years of age in India. All citizens above 18 years of age have their right to be a voter, so they need to ensure whether their name is enlisted in that voters list. The voters list need to renew every year because need to enter new voters, those who are entering into their 18 years of age, and all the voters need to have their election photo identity card to be a voter at the time of election. At the day of voting, every voters need to keep any kind of proof in order to identify themselves as a voter of that particular constituency, in order to assure that his vote is ready for himself and nobody will deny his freedom to be a voter. Once the date of election is declared by the election commissioner, the next step of election conducting in India is to collect the nomination from the candidates. Anyone who can be a voter can also come to be as a candidate in the election. The only difference is that in order to be a candidate, the minimum age is 25 years. While being a voter, he need to complete his 18 years of age. Each political parties are nominating their candidates who get the party symbol and support. Party's nomination is also known as party ticket. Every person who is wished to be a candidate need to fill up nomination form duly and give some money as security deposit. Along with the duly filled up nomination form, Supreme Court recently ordered for every candidate to submit one more legal declaration in the name of affidavit, which need to give the details regarding his pending criminal cases, his financial and family background, and also his educational qualification. These also need to be given by himself to the election commissioner along with his nomination form. To become a candidate in India, there is no specified educational qualifications required. Anybody above 25 years of age can be a candidate. The next step of election is election campaign. That means whenever the election date is announced and also the date or announcement of the final list of candidates are declared, in order to get their maximum support from people, election propagation is compulsory. During the time of this election campaign, these candidates and political parties can contact their voters, political party leaders can address election meetings, and political parties can mobilize their support. This is also the time when newspapers and television news also may be full of election detailed stories. During this time, in order to please the voters and also to assure their vote, each and every of that candidates will be having many kinds of promises in front of people, that whenever they are got elected, they will do different type of activities of development in their areas. Many kinds of promises will be given by the candidates during this period of election campaign. Even though each parties have their freedom to propagate according to their will and wish, the election commissioner during the time of election will put forward some code of conduct for each political parties and their candidates. Some do's and do nots will be listed out. Code of conduct means some rules and regulations or guidelines that each political party and candidates need to follow during the period of propagation, including no party is allowed to use any kind of worshipping places for election propagation, and no party will use any kind of government vehicles, aircraft, etc. for election propagation. Then once election result announced, minister when not election result, but when the election is announced, ministers in power should not lay foundation stones of any projections or any project, take any big policy decision, or make any promises for providing public facilities. These are given by the election commissioner as code of conduct. Other than this, parties and candidates should not bribe or threaten the voters, should not appeal to their religion or caste, and should not, or government resources should not be used for election propagation, and should not spend more than 25 lakh rupees for any kind of election propagation. If anyone or any candidates doing these things during election propagation, their result will be rejected, even though they got elected by people. After all this propagation, by these things, election result will be neglected and there will be another election to that post. Election propagation need to be stopped before 48 hours of the election day in order to give a free mind for the voters to choose their proper candidate. The most excited day for a voter is polling day, where each and every of that voters above 18 years of age having a chance for going to the polling booth in their present locality allotted for them with any kind of ID proof for being a voter. Once the voter goes inside the booth, the election officials identify the person, put a mark on her finger, and allow that person to cast his vote. An agent of each candidate will be allowed to sit inside that polling booth in order to ensure the voters. In early period, Indian election system was on the form of ballot system, where a piece of paper including all the details of the candidate, then the allotted symbol, etc. will be given in an order, and the voters need to select their candidate and need to give a tick mark or need to sign or need to give a symbol on that particular area. But presently, as our changes happen in our technological ideas, election voting machine or electronic voting machine is introduced, which records each vote casting by each and every of the voters. Once the polling is over, all the electronic voting machines are sealed and taken to the secure place allotted by the government for each constituency. Another excited day for each candidates and polling political parties were the counting day, where the election result will be announced. So after getting all the election electronic voting machines properly in a particular place, the all electronic voting machines will be taken into a particular area and will start to count. Agents of all candidates are present there in order to ensure that counting is done properly. All types of medias will report that result regularly and also properly at that time in order to give a chance for the voters of that country to know whatever procedures are going on and also to know an idea about who will be in power in the next government time. Then when the counting is finished, the announcement of the result will be the most another colorful one that every voters were awaiting. Then we need to study one more important thing, that all this or just after announcing the result, there is a chance for the formation of a new government who won the election. That means according to 43 or 45 members elected, majority party who got more seat will have their freedom and right to form a government. We all are aware about the free and fair elections are very compulsory for a democratic nation. But sometimes in some localities or in some constituencies, some different type of problems also faces as a challenge against conducting a free and fair election. Just like in the form of inclusion of false names and exclusion of genuine names from the voters list, which manipulate the total result of the election. Another one is that misuse of government facilities and officials by the ruling party in order to ensure their victory in the coming election, just like in case of Mexico we had studied. Then excessive use of money by rich candidates and big parties in order to influence the voters to change their vote to that particular party. And one another great tragedy or problem that the free and fair election faces in India is that intimidation of voters and rigging of polling day. Intimidation stands for threatening the voters by the influential political parties or the candidate and his own men in order to vote for that party, or also will be announcing or declaring some different problems that he need to face after the election if he didn't vote for that particular person. And rigging also a kind of malpractice indulged by the party or candidate to increase its vote. It includes stuffing ballot boxes by a few persons using the voters or others, or recording multiple votes by the same person, and bribing or coercing polling officers to favor a particular candidate. These also considering as a great threat against conducting free and fair election in our country. Anyhow, maximum care and decisions and steps will be taken by the election commissioner in order to ensure free and fair situation for each and every of the voters to cast their vote without having no any kind of external influences. Free and fair elections are compulsory in a democratic nation, as we know that it decide who need to rule the nation for the coming 5 years. It will be decided by the people as they have many ideas about the existing political parties and their different policies. So people have full freedom to choose their leaders or to change their leaders according to their will and wish. So elections in a democratic nation must be free and fair without having no any other kind of external influences or money and muscle power. We know that in a country just like India with a huge population and large number of different political parties, especially at the time of election, we can understand that there will be enough and more chance for the voters to decide what is to be done or what need to happen in our country for the coming years. That shows that even though some of the political parties are spending lots of money and also bribing different group of people or giving different type of facilities of life before the election in order to assure they vote for that particular party, sometimes commonly such parties sometimes may have a chance even to lose the election and also to lose their money that they already spent. That shows that a democratic nation give equal and ample chance for people to think differently and also to use their logic in order to ensure their coming 5 years so fresh and also a well wishing government for the whole people. So conducting regular elections in a democratic nation is very important. It should be equal to, given an opportunity for all voters equally, and also need to consider all vote as equal without having no any kind of discrimination, and should give free mind for the voters to decide who need to be their representative, and need to give an ample chance for them either to elect a new government or to change their existing government accordingly. So democratic elections are very important, and such a world largest democratic nation is therefore India. As we are Indians, be proud. So students, we can stop now. Thank you. Have a nice day.